February 19th, 1945. 0900 hours. The volcanic ash beaches of Iwo Jima. Lieutenant Robert Dunlap, 27th Marines, pressed himself against the black sand as Japanese machine gun fire tore through the air above him. 30 yards ahead, a concrete pillbox erupted with muzzle flashes. His rifle had jammed, clogged with the cursed volcanic grit that covered everything. 3 Marines beside him were already dead, as a Japanese soldier burst from a concealed spider hole less than 10 feet away. Bayonet fixed and screaming, Dunlap had 1 second to draw the heavy pistol from his hip holster. The Colt M1911 .45 automatic barked once. The Japanese soldier's charge ended instantly, his body crumpling backward as if struck by an invisible sledgehammer. In the hellish intimacy of Pacific Island warfare, that single shot represented something the Imperial Japanese Army had catastrophically failed to understand. American firepower wasn't just about numbers, it was about stopping power. The question that haunted American combat reports from Guadalcanal to Okinawa was both tactical and psychological. Why did Japanese forces consistently underestimate the lethality of American small arms, particularly the Colt .45 pistol, only to have that miscalculation cost them dearly in the brutal close-quarters combat that defined the Pacific War? The answer reveals not just a story of weapons engineering, but a collision between 2 fundamentally different military philosophies. Japanese military doctrine in 1941 carried the arrogance of an empire that had conquered Manchuria, humiliated China, and shocked the world at Pearl Harbor. Their infantry training emphasized the spiritual superiority of the Japanese soldier, the perfection of bayonet charges, and the conviction that American troops were soft, undisciplined, and would break under determined assault. This wasn't mere propaganda, it was an institutional belief, encoded in training manuals and tactical doctrine. Japanese soldiers trained with the Nambu Type 14 pistol, an 8mm semi-automatic that American intelligence officers would later describe as adequate for intimidating Chinese peasants, inadequate for stopping a determined enemy. When Japanese troops captured American positions in the Philippines in 1942 and examined the heavy Colt M1911 pistols, their reaction ranged from amusement to dismissive contempt. The weapon seemed absurdly large, over-engineered, and indicative of American reliance on material superiority over warrior spirit. They could not have been more fatally wrong. The Colt .45 M1911 wasn't designed for ceremony. It was designed to stop charging enemies with absolute certainty. Its history revealed American pragmatism at its most uncompromising. Born from bitter experience in the Philippine-American War, where American soldiers armed with .38 caliber revolvers found that determined Moro warriors could absorb multiple body shots and still attack. The U.S. Army's response wasn't to question courage, it was to build a bigger gun. John Moses Browning's M1911 fired the .45 ACP cartridge, generating over 400 foot-pounds of muzzle energy, more than double that of the Japanese Nambu. But raw numbers told only part of the story. The .45's large, slow-moving bullet transferred enormous hydrostatic shock, ending fights instantly. By 1944, over 2.7 million M1911 pistols had been produced. They were standard issue for officers, NCOs, vehicle crews, and Marines who fought in the confined jungles and caves of the Pacific. From Guadalcanal to Iwo Jima, reports told the same story. Each man shot with the .45 went down immediately. No second shots required. Japanese soldiers who survived to become prisoners expressed shock at the stopping power of American pistols. Lieutenant General Kuribayashi on Iwo Jima had studied American weapons carefully and warned his men not to underestimate their firepower. But institutional arrogance died slowly. Even in 1945, Japanese manuals still glorified bayonet and sword attacks against Marines armed with pistols designed to end fights before they began. Combat analyses from Okinawa showed that Americans armed only with pistols achieved higher casualty ratios in close quarters than Japanese soldiers with rifles and bayonets. Medical records confirmed the difference. Soldiers shot with the Nambu often survived. Those hit with the M1911 usually did not. In the volcanic caves of Iwo Jima and the jungles of Guadalcanal, the difference between philosophy and physics was written in blood. The Colt .45 was designed to stop human beings with one shot, and it consistently delivered exactly what it was designed to do.